Hi everyone, welcome to our Christmas cooking class tonight with your Thermomix. It's nice to see you all on here. Tonight we just wanted to share a few of our favorite dishes, hopefully to give you some inspiration to help use your Thermomix over Christmas, whether it's for gifts or taken to functions that you've got happening, or on the actual day of Christmas, whatever works for you. As we're going along, please feel free to put questions in the chat. I would prefer if everyone stayed on mute while we're doing our presentation, but there'll be time to come off mute at the end or to ask questions verbally. But yeah, your questions will be answered in the chat as well. I am also going to be sending you an email tomorrow with the recording so that you can catch up on anything you missed, and with links to what we're doing or what we talk about so that you can refer back to some of these things. So if you have any questions ongoing that you forgot to ask tonight, you'll have our details so that you can ask us questions ongoing anyway. So let's just get straight into it. The first thing I wanted to share tonight is it's called turkey breast roulade with apple and sage stuffing. So this is a take on your traditional roast turkey. This is a really good one for Aussie summer where you want to serve it cold, but you're still having your turkey and stuffing but cold, or you can serve it warm as well. And it looks pretty, if all goes well, to plan with my rolling. The first part of the recipe though is to make the stuffing, and as it needed to cool, I made it earlier. So I'm actually going to show you a video of me making this earlier. And hopefully that plays nicely. And I'll mute myself. Okay, I'm going to show you now how to make the stuffing for our turkey roulades, and I'm going to make the apple and sage stuffing, which is in this recipe. There are other stuffing recipes on Cookie you can try. I really love the cranberry and bacon one, so I recommend giving that one a go. But my kids love apples, so that's what I'm doing today. And I'm going to use guided cooking, so I'll just press start. It's asking for garlic. So I've got that here going in, and it should ask for an onion, which I'm just popping in. I have cut it in half. I don't always, but I'm following the recipe for you guys. If you leave it whole, it will still work well. And some butter, which I've got here. See, as I'm going along, the scales just come up so that you can, don't have to use measure cups, just follow the scales that come up, and they're in 1 gram increments so that they're really precise, which is really nice. Okay, lid's going on. And we're just chopping that for 3 seconds. Do a little dance. Okay. Scrape down with the spatula. I love the TM6 spatula because it's really flexible, so it's really good for scraping down. Oh, I better show you. So 3 seconds, everything's nicely chopped, ready to add. Well, I think now we're going to cook that. So that's just going to cook for 3 minutes. Oh, 2 minutes, sorry. The next part is 3 minutes. So during that 2 minutes, you can hear me, you can multitask in your kitchen. So if you press, let me bring this up, press these dots up here and press the recipe detail. You can look ahead to see what you need next. You can also go down and see any nutrition guides and tips. Tips, hints. Oh, there you go. Gives you other stuffing ideas, and one it says is prune orange and apricot. Okay, so but for today I am already organized here with my other ingredients, so I can just pause you till it's done. Okay, and so that's done. I'm pressing next, and it's asking me to add 2 Granny Smith apples that have been cored, not peeled. So that's fine, just going in, cut into quarters. It's going to ask for sage. I did take the stems off, but I doubt it matters in stuffing. But anyway, how good is sage? Smells so good. Okay, and then a tablespoon of white wine vinegar or verjuice. I'm just gonna wing it. That looks good. Going in. I think that's all we need at the moment. Yep, lid goes on, and we are going to chop that on speed 5 for 3 seconds. Okay, scrape down the bowl, and then it's going to scrape down, you know, the sides with your spatula. I always give the lid a bit of a scrape too when it asks to scrape down the bowl sides. And then we're cooking for 2 minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay, that has just finished, so I will press the next button, and it's asking for bread. It smells really good. So I'm just putting in 3 pieces of bread. I'm including the crusts because this is store-bought bread and my kids don't like the crusts. When it's homemade bread, which I'm a bit half-half with my bread making these days because I can't keep up with my 4 kids eating it all before I bake it more, but if it's homemade bread, they love the crust, and store-bought, they don't. Go figure. So that's what's going in. Oh, it doesn't matter about the scales because I'm just using 3 pieces of bread. And I've just torn it in pieces. That is going in. Salt and pepper. To taste. I love salt and I love pepper. I think they're really underrated for seasoning food. So I add extra salt and pepper to everything. Okay, lid goes on. 10 seconds. Speed 7. Time to put the salt and pepper away too. So it says transfer stuffing into a bowl and set aside to cool completely, and that's why I have made ahead this afternoon so that tonight when we make this in the class, this is already cooled down. And there we have it, our apple and sage stuffing. So I'm going to just spread it on this plate. And I'll probably just cover it and keep it in the fridge till we need it tonight. Yeah, if you skip the step of cooling it, it will be too hard to work with when you're making your roulade or when you're stuffing, if you're using this for stuffing inside a turkey or a chicken. If it's hot when you're doing it, it's a little bit harder to work with and just, it'll get too hot by the time you cook it in the oven. It's like when you're making pies, you need to cool down the filling before you put it in the pastry, or when you cook it, the filling is way too hot. So yeah, and that's our stuffing. I know it's not very pretty, but stuffing isn't. It's just going to taste good and it smells good. And yeah, there's your apple sage stuffing. Yeah, we'll carry on during. Sorry. So there you go. There's the stuffing. And so here we are a few hours later, and I've tied my hair back after realizing it was getting in my way. So any questions about any of that, feel free to put it in the chat. I've pulled it out of the fridge and uncovered it. And here I've got the recipe. That you can use that stuffing for whatever now. But this recipe uses it in the roulade, which I'll show you how to do. The first thing is to get, the recipe says to get 4 turkey breast steaks. And I've started doing it while that stuffing video was going. I started rolling mine up. But once you get your steak, where's mine? You want to bash it really thin. I don't know if you can see how thin I've made that. With a meat mallet, or if you don't have one of these, you can use the end of a rolling pin. That works really well. I've done that before. My mama gave me this because she doesn't use it anymore. So yeah, just bash, 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 and the steaks just really flatten out really nicely. You can also use chicken breast if you want a different flavor as well. So whatever works for you. So I'll just try and attempt to show you what I'm doing here with the roulades. It worked really well on the other two I was doing, so hopefully this goes well as well. Okay, so you just get a layer of foil. A layer of foil first, and then a layer of baking paper, and you lay out your turkey steak. I'm using my hands because this is just for my family and I'm just digging in. Obviously you need to be food safe if you're making this for other people, and you could use gloves or a spoon or whatever works for you, but I'm just rolling a thin layer of the stuffing over the top of the steak, the turkey fillet, and then I will attempt to roll it up lengthways, so you've got a nice long sausage shape. Yeah, and so once this is done, we'll be able to slice it that way, and you'll have nice looking scrolly kind of pinwheels, I guess. Well, a roulade, as its name suggests. So I've just rolled the baking paper, and I will twist the ends. And you've got to do it a little bit tight and like firm and tight so it stays nicely together while it steams. Oh, I'm taking too much with me. Then roll up the foil, and again just twist the ends nice and tight. And I'll show you again. So I've got our steak here, putting it down. Lay the stuffing along, and you could make that gluten-free by using gluten-free bread. Totally substitute with whatever works for your family. But yeah, a nice fruity or nutty stuffing is good. I wonder if that's enough. I'm going to get a bit more. Play around with this recipe. It's I don't know if you can find turkey steaks at Woolworths all year round, but I found it in just the normal meat section, and in one of those plastic tubs that has the window on the top of it. So I think it's easy to find. I have tried getting it in the past at butchers. They don't always have turkey steak, which is why I have resorted to Woolworths. Yeah, it's all good. And you can also, if you see it in stores and you're not ready to make it, you can also have this turkey steak in your freezer and ready to go for when you want it. Oh, I'm going to twist the end. And then the foil. So I guess the double layer really helps keep it together and makes sure the moisture from the Verona steam isn't going to get in to the package. And then we've got it. So I've got 4 sausages here, and I am just going to wash my hands before I touch the Thermomix. Excuse me. Okay, and I've made a bit of a mess, and that's okay. I'll clean it up soon. I want you to be able to see what the screen is doing. Okay, so the screen is just telling you to do exactly what I just did. So if you aren't sure what to do, the instructions are very clear, which is great. There's even pictures. Actually, I'll show you that. There's even pictures along the way. So when you're not sure, the pictures help you. So the guided cooking on the TM6 is awesome. Yep, more pictures, more showing you what to do. So we're going to place 2 in the varoma and 2 on the dish. Sorry, 2 on the tray. So the big one is your varoma dish, and the other one, the flat one, is called your varoma tray. So if ever you're unsure in a recipe what the dish is or the tray, that's the difference. And your book and your manual show you as well. So I've put 2 within and 2 on top. Get our lid and we'll sit it on top there. Oh, and we need water, obviously. So take that back off for a second. And I'm just going to pour the water in through the top. $6.99 will do. And it tells you to place the varoma on top, secure the lid, and we're going to start steaming. So because we're in guided cooking, the time's already set, the temp is already set, and all I need to do is turn it to speed 2. So that is going to cook for 10 minutes, and then it asks us to switch them around. So I'm going to use my tongs and move the 2 that were in the dish up to the tray. So they're switched around for another 8 to 10 minutes. I'll just do 10, like I'm not going to open it up and check, but that's what the recipe says. So I won't show you when I'm switching it around, that's boring, but what I'm going to do next is show you another dish that we've got to make for you all, which is from the lovely Yolanda in our team, who can't be on tonight because it's her wedding anniversary, but she really wanted to present for you all. And so she has pre-recorded a video of making this beautiful, I love these so much. It's the Parmesan Fennel Chili Shortbread from the Festive Flavor Cookbook, which is also on Cookie Doo. And it's just, they're so addictive and delicious. I am a bit of a savory girl, but I love these so much. So I'll find you that video.
Hi everybody, it's Yolanda from Hills Heat Team. I'm going to demonstrate a dish tonight that I've really enjoyed in the past for Christmas, and I wanted to share it with you. I think it's a really nice one for having handy when you suddenly have guests, or also for gifting if you'd like to give someone a homemade treat that you've made with your Thermomix. It's really quick and easy to make and quite tasty. And instead of being a sweet dish, this one is a savoury. I'm going to make a fennel and chili shortbread. I know it sounds unusual to have a savoury shortbread, but they're quite delicious. Parmesan cheese in there too. So let's get started and we'll show you how it goes. I'll just tilt the screen down so you can see what I'm doing. The recipe's on Cookie Doo, Parmesan shortbreads with fennel and chili. So the first thing we need to do is we need to add 2 teaspoons of dried fennel, just the seeds like that. Pop them straight in. And then 1 teaspoon of dried chilli flakes. These chilli flakes, very easy to get in the supermarket. You've probably got them in your cupboard at home. And then pop the lid on. And the next thing we do is just 3 seconds on speed 8. I love how well the Thermomix grinds seeds, spices, nuts, grains, all of those things. So we're just going to pop that little bit there into a bowl and set it aside. We're going to use that as a sprinkle on top of our Parmesan shortbreads. It smells wonderful. The smell of the fennel with the chilli together, you don't want to breathe it in too deeply, but the fennel smells just delightful when it's been freshly ground. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is to add 100 grams of Parmesan cheese. Remember to tear your scales there. There's my 100 grams of Parmesan cheese. Once again, we're just going to grind that down. Speed 10. I love how fast the Thermomix will grind a hard cheese like Parmesan and make it into a free-flowing powder. Once again, it smells just fantastic, and I know there's no anti-caking agents or free-flow agents in that cheese because I've just ground it fresh. With a little bit of fennel and a little bit of chili that was still in the bowl, that's now in the cheese, and that smells great. The next thing we're going to add is 150 grams of plain flour. When you're making a dough of any sort, whether it's a biscuit or a pastry or a bread, try and be accurate with your flour weight. Your flour and water, those two things will very much affect the end result of your baking. So try and be accurate. And the nice thing with the TM6 is that the scales weigh down to 1 gram of accuracy, which I think is awesome. The next thing we're going to add is 100 grams of soft unsalted butter. So I'll just pop that in. Just chopped into chunks, and an egg yolk from a large egg, and 2 pinches of fine sea salt. I like to use pink rock salt, and I just grind it down into a powder. Once again, on goes the lid. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is just tip it out onto a lightly floured surface. I'm actually going to use my Thermomat. If you haven't got one of these, they are a wonderful, wonderful thing to get. I use them a lot when I make bread, things like pastries, scrolls, that sort of thing. Just going to tip our dough out. It looks very much like a shortbread, nice and buttery, a bit crumbly. Just tip that out onto there. And we just want to lightly pull that together, just into a bit of a ball. Don't want to work it very much, but just a little bit. It says to knead it for 30 seconds, but it really doesn't need much work, to be honest. I've made these before, and just a little bit of a mix like that is enough. And then what we want to do is to divide this mixture into half. So always when you're working on your Thermomat, use your spatula to cut. Don't ever use a knife on your mat, because after that you'll have to get a new one. All right, so we want to shape each one of these into a log that's about 2.5 centimetres thick in rounds roughly. So just shape it into a bit of a log. Then what we'll do is we'll wrap it into some cling film, and we'll pop it into the fridge just to rest for a little while. The dough's a little bit warm after we've mixed it, and we want it to be quite cool and nice to shape and pop into the oven. So I'm just going to wrap that in cling film, as I said, and we'll tuck it away. While it's resting, I'll just turn the video off and I'll come back again when we're ready to do the next step. If you were making these to be used at another time, say you wanted to get ready in advance for Christmas, you could make these in advance and you could pop it into the freezer, and then you would just defrost it when you wanted to use it and bake it. And that way, very, very quick to go from the baking process to having the fresh shortbread biscuits. Okay, so I'm just going to leave you now while I pop that into the fridge, and I will come back when it's time for the next step. Our dough's rested for 45 minutes and it's looking good. Our oven's preheated to 160 degrees. So we're ready to shape our biscuits and top them with the fennel and chili mixture and get them baking. So I've just started cutting some. So you could have frozen this and had it thawing for when you wanted to use it, or, you know, let it chill for 45 minutes like I've done today. Just cut it into rounds about, I don't know, not quite a centimetre thick, maybe, you know, 8 millimetres into rounds. Pop it on a lined tray, and then we're going to just brush it with a beaten egg and put the topping on. And then it's about 15 or 20 minutes in the oven, and you'll smell the wonderful smell of the Parmesan cheese baking with the butter and the flour, and the chilli and the fennel. The smell is just beautiful. They do keep quite well if you store them airtight, so you can pack them into little cellophane bags and use them for Christmas gifting if you like. I think a savoury shortbread is actually a really nice alternative to the sweet shortbread that a lot of people typically give at Christmas. I know we can get a lot of sweetie stuff, and sometimes it's nice to have something just a bit savoury to enjoy, either for ourselves or as a gift. So there's my rounds, all nicely cut. I've just beaten an egg together like that, nice and easy. Use a pastry brush just to brush some on top. That helps our toppings stick quite nicely, and also adds a little bit of colour and a bit of glaze when the biscuits bake. There are so many really good recipes on Cookie Doo for Christmas gifting. I found if I've searched in the past on Cookie Doo UK, there's a lot there too. For food gifts, making your own hampers. I think it's a really nice thing to be able to spoil someone with homemade food rather than going and buying something at the shop where you don't know what's in it or how fresh it is. At least this, you know, you've made with love, you've made it with ingredients that you know are fresh. It's good for you, it tastes delicious, and you've done it yourself for someone you care about. So I always think they're the most lovely gifts, the ones where you've given of yourself for someone else. So just sprinkle on our fennel topping with our chilli there. They're going to look very pretty. And then it's a short bake in the oven, probably 15 to 20 minutes, and I'll come back and show you how they look when they're done. Biscuits are baked. I baked them for 20 minutes. That's what they needed in my oven to look golden brown and done. I'll show you how they look now, and they smell wonderful. The cheese with the chilli and the fennel just smells beautiful baked with the butter. But anyway, here's how they look. Hopefully I can tilt the screen up so you can see how they are. There you go. So I can store those airtight, and they'll be great for gifting if I pack them into nice little bags. I think some of these might get devoured tonight because they smell so good. Anyway, a very merry Thermo Christmas to you all. I hope that you have a wonderful, safe and fabulous Thermo Christmas. Enjoy, and all the best. Bye-bye.
So yes, another really good out-of-the-box idea. I know on Cookie Doo there's another recipe for shortbread called red and green shortbread, which I love to make as well to gift to people because it looks really impressive. So look that up if you're looking for shortbread ideas. It uses pistachios and cranberries to be the red and the green, and then at the end you dip it in white chocolate. But I like to save time where I can, and all I do with my melted white chocolate is just drizzle it on top in like a, I don't know, a zigzag kind of pattern, and it looks really pretty as well. So that's another idea for you with gifting or taking shortbread to places. But definitely try those savory shortbreads Yolanda made. I really recommend them. So I'm going to show you now another really great gifting idea or just taking to a party idea. These are chocolate crackle wreaths, and Penny, who's on tonight, has made these and made a little video for us to speed up the process. So I'm going to spotlight Penny so that she can talk you through what she did in this video. There you are. Give me 2 secs.
Hi. Can you hear me? Cool. Okay, so I saw, hi everyone, sorry. I saw on another consultant's page the other day some chocolate crackle wreaths, so I thought I'd give them a go. And there's actually a recipe on Cookie Doo called, I think it's chocolate crackle surprise, but if you type in chocolate crackle on Cookie Doo, it will come up. And I did a little video for you. Is that playing, Laura?
I hadn't started pressing play yet until you were ready. Sorry, I'll start now.
So I used the rose gold tins. I popped in some kofa and melted that. There was some coconut, some icing sugar, some cocoa, and then some rice bubbles. Gave them a bit of a mix. And then I just popped them into the rose gold donut tins. So I didn't even have to grease them. They all just went in. I had some left over, so I made just some normal ones. Popped on some Christmas hundreds and thousands on those, and then into the fridge they went, and then once they'd set I pulled them out. I then melted just a little bit of chocolate just so I could use it to help stick on some cute little spearmint leaves and some M&Ms just to try and make them a little bit Christmassy. And I really enjoyed them. My kids, there's something wrong with my children. They don't like chocolate crackles. Whose kids don't like chocolate crackles? But I took them to work and everyone from work ate them, so I felt much better. But they're a quick, easy, cute little idea you could use for kids for a Christmas or take them to work for your friends, or take them to work for yourself, really. Or just eat them because they're good. And they're so easy, so much easier than doing it in a bowl because the Thermomix does all the stirring for you.
Awesome. I think they look really great, really effective. And I think the idea of using the donut tray to make wreaths, not just with chocolate crackles, but with other treats is a good idea as well. So get your imagination going with the donut trays. So while we're with Penny, Penny's going to show us another great festive dish that you can take to picnics or brunches or barbecues or just have yourself because it looks amazing. So I'll just unmute Penny and get her to show us her salmon dish. You're on mute. Oh, there you go.
I'm good. Okay, so I thought I'd do a dish that I guess you could either have for Christmas brunch or you could pop it on your Christmas table. I and some ham and some turkey on my table, so I thought this is a little bit different. So what this is the beetroot and tequila cured salmon. So it's pretty easy. We do a wet cure for it, and then you'll have to prepare it the day before because the salmon has to rest for 12 to 24 hours. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do half the quantity. So it says 5-star anise. I'm just going to pop in 2.5. I've actually got all my spices in here. So teaspoon of whole black peppercorns, teaspoon of fennel seeds, teaspoon of coriander seeds, and they all just go in the bowl. Then we mill them for 20 seconds on speed 9. And then next, so we're going to pop in some brown sugar. Everything ready. So just normal brown sugar. 250 grams. Oops, a little bit over. And then 100, oh shivers, I'm meant to be doing half. Oh well, this is going to be really sweet. 250 grams of salt. And some fresh thyme. So it says 2 sprigs. I've got 1 because I was doing half and I've completely stuffed this up, but that's okay because I prepared some earlier. And then 1 raw beetroot, but I'm actually doing half because I used the other half. And then my favourite part, 50 grams of tequila. And then we're just going to blend that all together for 10 seconds on speed 9. So it says place 750 grams of boneless, skinless salmon fillets into a ceramic or glass baking dish. I only bought half the amount of salmon, but it's just regular salmon fillets. So you can see, I don't know if I can get that light right, but it's quite a wet so I'm just going to pour it in. Pour it in the mixing bowl over the salmon and evenly coat both sides of the salmon. So I will fix that later, but just imagine that. And then we're going to pop it in the fridge for 12 to 24 hours. So after that's been in the fridge, cover with plastic wrap, leave in the fridge, then and firm to touch without being tough and dry. And then we're going to do this awesome little dipping sauce. So thank goodness for a spare bowl. We're going to pop in 300 grams of goat's cheese, but because I'm doing half the quantity, I'm only doing 150 grams, and I'm going to remember that this time. So just regular Woolworths. I got this one. Sure, you can get it anywhere. Um, 1.5 tablespoons of horseradish cream, which I just got from Woolies. So that would be 3/4 of a tablespoon. Um, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. And 30 grams of olive oil. And then pop the lid on. And we're going to mix that for 5 seconds on speed 6. And then scrape down the sides of the bowl. Oh, this looks pretty good. And then we're just going to pop the lid on and we're going to blend it again. 5 seconds on speed 6. And then we transfer and set aside in a bowl. horseradishy cream. It looks delicious. Okay, so once the salmon has cured, quickly rinse the fillets under cold water and pat dry with a paper towel. These are my salmon fillets that I from yesterday with a half quantity of cure because I only had a half quantity of salmon. But we'll see how they turned out. If you're like me, I hate touching beetroot, so I'll pop on a pair of gloves. And oh, it is quite firm to touch. I know that lighting's really bad. So I'm just going to rinse that under water. And then pat dry with some paper towel. So as you can see, it's quite pink from the beetroot. And it's amazing, like the different, I guess, feel of it, the texture of it. It's really firm. And I'm just going to rinse the other piece off. So that little piece there. So I guess this recipe was designed for a lot more salmon than what I had. But my fridge died yesterday, so I have no room to store anything. We're running on car fridges at the moment. So the next step is to peel some cucumber with a vegetable peeler. So I did that earlier. And then slice the salmon as thinly as possible. So we'll see how I go with that. So here's my salmon. Let's get a knife out of the awesome Thermomix toolkit. I don't know if you can see that. Really good at knives in here. And this little one hopefully will be. Oh, this looks amazing. My thinly sliced might be thickly sliced, but this looks divine. I don't know. I'll hold it up. I don't know if you can see that colour.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It looks so good. So yeah, just slice that, serve it with some capers, or it says caper berries, but I've only got caper, like mini baby capers. Just on a plate with some crackers, or I don't know, you could do some pumpernickel bread or something, and that horseradish cream and some cucumber. So I will continue to slice this if you like, and then I'll plate it up for you if you want to come back to it, Laura.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
I mean, it looks very impressive.
I wasn't sure how it would turn out, but I'm really impressed.
How impressive it must be if you've got home cured salmon.
You know what? It actually tastes really nice. So highly recommend this one.
All right, I'll just mute you while you carry on with that. I wanted to show you now a festive take on a favorite salad of mine. And coincidentally, like, we don't always just do beetroot things, but the salad I wanted to make tonight has beetroot in it as well. There are heaps of salads on Cookie Doo that you can do, like so many. So yes, I'll show you this one that I've got. It's in Cookie Doo, there's a recipe just called beetroot salad, and that's what I'm starting with as my base. So I've got a heap of raw beetroot that I've peeled and chopped in quite big chunks. I don't want to touch it again because I've already washed my hands. Granny Smith apple, any apple works, to be honest, and a carrot that I've just chopped in chunks. And in the recipe it asks for coriander. I've done a little bit of coriander, but I've also got mint because I love the flavor of coriander, mint and beetroot together. It works really well. So and the recipe also asks for red onion. I'm not putting that in. My kids don't like it. They won't eat it. and there's enough flavor going on in this without it. So I'm fine with that. So I am going to put all this in the bowl. And that's the other thing I love about this salad is it all goes in at once, really easy. I'm also putting in a good dash of extra virgin olive oil. Maybe about a tablespoon, I guess. And some salt and pepper. You all heard that I love salt and pepper together. You can also, if you want to make this fancier, and I thought I had some, I must have used it all up, pomegranate molasses, which there's a recipe to make your own pomegranate molasses in the Thermomix, which I'll link tomorrow. Add a teaspoon of that into this salad, and it's just so good. I really did think I had some, but doesn't matter. It's still going to be good. I'm going to put in some lemon juice now. So to squeeze my lemon juice, I'm going to do it up here. This lid, even though it's locked in well, it is also loose so that things can still drizzle down, and so that steam can escape while you're cooking to make it safe. But it means that my lemon juice will drizzle down while the seeds stay up the top. So I am going to squeeze it up the top here using my strong muscles. Pretty good. And I'm going to do the other half as well. This is like, it's up to you how much lemon juice you like in your salad. I really like it, so that's great. And there was one seed that I will just get out. Yeah, good. Some lemons have a million seeds and some don't have any. So everything is in together, and I am just going to go on speed 5 for a few seconds till it's done. Okay, I was listening and I think 4 seconds is going to be enough, but I might need to scrape and do 1 more second. We'll see. The best guide is to not over process, because you can't go back in time and reverse that. But if you try and underdo it, you can always go further. So that's 4 seconds. And I actually think a lot of people would like it, this texture. I am going to go another 1, maybe 2 seconds. But it smells so good, and I don't know if you can see the color because of the darkness that's in there, but I'm going to just show you when I pour it out. Ah, looks so good. And that's it for that salad in the Thermomix. So now to add some extra color, I've got a bit of baby spinach for your green. The beetroot salad will be our red. So I'm just going to pour that on top. I'll try and leave a border of the green, but this makes so much salad. I've still got a heap in here, but for serving that, I think that looks really good. So I'm going to keep the rest. And it does store for a couple of days because you've got the lemon and the oil in there. It's okay to make this one ahead. I always do it fresh because it's so quick anyway, but leftovers, or if you do need to make ahead, you can do that. So yeah, I've still got quite a bit in there. And then the next thing to do, I've got some feta here to add some white. So I've got red, green and white. But to just add a bit more festivity and just to jazz it up a little bit, I've got some pepitas and cranberries here. So I've got some, obviously green pepitas. My cranberries are like no additive type ones. So they're not really that red. You can get red cranberries. I've just got the sulfite free ones. So they're very dark, but they're delicious, and it just adds a bit of, the pepitas add a bit of crunch and, you know, some extra vitamins in there, and the cranberries add that nice tangy juiciness. And then to add some white over the top, I'll sprinkle some feta. I think Danish feta is really good to crumble. I have Persian feta at the moment, so it's so soft. I'm having to really pull it apart with my fingers. The only one I don't think crumbles very well is the Aussie feta or even the Greek, but if you have those, just dice them up really small and they will look good too. But crumbled, yeah, Persian or Danish works really well. I don't know, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here and see how pretty this salad is. But you can see how quick this is. So if you need to take a plate to something or you need a side salad, something that looks really festive. Another good addition could be pomegranate seeds. And there's a really good tip for de-seeding your pomegranates in your Thermomix, which I might link for you tomorrow as well. Because that's something that's time consuming by hand, but really quick in the Thermomix. Okay, this is looking good. And I'm just going to obviously wash my hands from crumbling all that feta. So give me 2 secs. And we've got a beautiful festive beetroot carrot salad here ready to serve. So I will put that aside now as we carry on with something else. Okay. Okay, I'm going to switch over to Penny because it looks like she's got something delicious to show us. Are you there?
Yeah. So here is our anise cured salmon. I can't even tell if you can say that. And the horseradish cream with cucumbers. It's pretty special. I have visitors for Christmas Day. This will be coming out.
Yeah, it looks really good. And it looks like, aside from the soaking time, that was very quick and easy.
Yep.
Like your
yeah, really quick and easy. Yeah. Great. And even to like the soaking time, it's super quick to make the actual cure, and it just goes in the fridge while you go to work or something. Easy.
So easy. Great. All right. So the next, thanks Penny. So cool. She always has great ideas. I never would have thought to make that, honestly, and I never even would have found it in Cookie. So awesome. So the next thing I wanted to show you, which is a really great, super cheap, like if you need to make gifts for people and you're on a budget, making your own honeycomb. I will just disclaimer that you can only do this one in the TM6 because of the high heat sugar stages. But it's the cost of some water and sugar and honey and bicarb soda. So super cheap, but it's also really quick on your own time, but so effective. Like to have homemade honeycomb, people just are amazed. And then you can drizzle chocolate over the top or just coat it or just leave it as is. It's really good as is. There's a recipe on Cookidoo as well called honeycomb hedgehog slice, which I made the other day to take to a Christmas party, and everyone loved that. And that was really easy as well. So I'm just going to show you how we make that in the Thermomix. It takes 20 minutes of cooking. So I'm going to, that's why I'm showing you a video, and then I'll show you here's one I prepared earlier, which I've got set aside. I just need to press the share button. Here it is. Okay, so yeah, here's the honeycomb. And it's just on Cookidoo, so you type it in and it will come up. Oh, sorry, I need to move that. This is one recipe where I really advise reading the whole recipe ahead, because once it's cooked, you don't have time to look at the steps and read the guide. You need to know what you're doing. It is easy, but you need to know it. So adding in these first ingredients is very easy. You're just adding in your sugar, your water, and your honey. And then it's the next part after it all bubbles that you need to work quite quickly. But you've got a good 20 minutes to go do something else in the house while this all cooks, 22 minutes even. So in a second, you'll see that bubbling up on the screen, on the video. And while that's happening, the blades actually stop. In a lot of the guided cooking in the high heat mode, the blades stop moving so that the food can do its work, which is good. Once that's done, you do need to, this is what I was saying, you need to move quickly. You need to put in your sifted bicarb soda, just a tablespoon is good. Give it a quick stir, as you can see in the video, and then tip it into, you can put it in molds, you can put it in a tray, you could just have it flat on a mat and let it shape itself, or you could do it in like just whatever. And as you can see, it's just bubbling up. And then you've got quite a mess in your bowl, so then you add some water and vinegar to do pre-clean mode. And pre-clean mode is another awesome feature of the Thermomix. So, and it's really clever. It detects how messy your bowl is and changes the time dependent on that. So yeah, it's quite good. I'm just going to skip ahead and there you have our perfect honeycomb. And so this is from the batch I made the other day. I've had it stored, it doesn't like humidity or heat, so have it in a cool, dark place in an airtight container. This is half the batch. So I used half of it to put in the honeycomb hedgehog slice that I just mentioned earlier. And the other half I've got sitting here, still deciding what I'm going to do with it, basically. But I wanted to just show you, I don't know, like how light is so light. It's just perfect. It's got all the holes in it. I don't know, it's really good. And it shatters really nicely. So that's your honeycomb. Really easy gift to give to people, or just if you need to take a sweet, it's very sweet. You only need a little piece to cure your sweet tooth. But yeah, really easy thing to take at Christmas time. Put that aside. So another treat I wanted to show you in the Thermomix is called, I'll show you here on my screen. It's called the DIY Chocolate Truffles. And as you can see, it's more designed to be a recipe that you have with your friends. And so you have the truffles that you make, and you just have a square cake tin, add in the dark choc chips, add in the cream, put your lid on, and then melt it. That's all you're doing basically. Scrape it and then melt again, and transfer into your prepared tin and fridge it for 2 to 3 hours. Oh. So that's what I did earlier today. I figured you don't need to see me adding chocolate and cream into the Thermomix bowl, but that's what I've done earlier. And so I've got that here. So it's just basically ganache as truffles. And once you're ready, look how beautifully smooth that is. It just peels away from the baking paper quite nicely. You can get into the corners. Oh, there's a bit there. I'll fix that. But then, so the toppings it says to use are pistachios, candy canes, or, oh, chili flakes. And so, sorry, yeah. And so you have it around and you're with your friends and you've got the bowls around so that as they're eating their truffles, they choose which topping they want to have. So it's kind of a bit of fun while they go. But this is a gift idea I've been doing. Well, I did it last year, and I'm definitely doing it again this year, where I have my truffle slab and I'm going to crush candy canes on top and just fill the whole slab and then let that set in there. And then I'm going to slice it up in tiny pieces because it's so rich. So you only need tiny pieces, and gift it to some of my neighbours alongside some caramel fudge, which you can make in your Thermomix as well, which I haven't got around to making yet, but the recipe is there. So I wanted to show you how easy this is. Oh, and when I chop this, I use a really big kitchen knife, or I use my pizza cutter, which I'll show you. Oh. It's gone. I don't know where my pizza cutter is. Anyway, you know the one. It's like it just cuts through a slab really nicely. So I wanted to share this idea with you because this is like the quickest of quick. If you don't have time but you want to make something impressive, you can melt some chocolate and cream together, shove it in the fridge till you've got time to come and top it with something later. And if you don't have time to top it with something, it's just great as it is, chocolate ganache, like chocolate truffle. So yeah, I'll show you how we chop the candy canes in a Thermomix. So basically they just go in. And it goes on speed 5. I'll show you. Speed 5 for about 2 seconds. A bit noisy for 2 seconds. I went for 3 seconds. That's okay. Oh, it's so pretty. I've got candy cane dust going through my kitchen right now. So all I'm going to do now is, oh, I need to move you again. All I'm going to do now is tip it on. And kind of press it in. Because the truffle is hard coming out of the fridge, I'm just going to leave it out for a little while to let that the top of the chocolate soften and for the candy cane mixture to kind of settle in. But as you kind of push it in, it will end up staying there. And look how pretty that is. So super easy. It looks pretty, and then you've got this great gift that you can give people, which is obviously homemade, because where would you buy this? So I'll set this aside. And the super quick, before I pull out the turkey roulade to show you what's been happening with that, I wanted to share with you some other cookie dough tips, some other Christmas ideas really on cookie dough. I don't know if you're on it or not, but if you're not, that's okay. I just want to show you these ideas anyway. Oh, go to home. So this is the cookie dough website, which has all of our recipes on it. It syncs with your Thermomix, syncs with the TM6, or if you've got a cookie on your TM5. And so it's got lots of recipes that you can browse through, or you can search. My internet is really unstable tonight. Incidentally, that caramel sauce is a really good gift idea to give people too. And you can get some cute bottles and jars from Kmart or like Ronnie's $2 shops type places. Oh, candy cane ice creams. Look at all these great ideas. This gingerbread ice cream I made the other day, and I've got a recording of myself making it. So I'll put it in the email tomorrow when I send it to you if you want some ice cream tips and gingerbread tips and heaps of homemade ingredient tips. So yeah, what I wanted to show you on Cookie Dough is that if you don't know what you want to cook, you can just type in broad terms like festive. Oh, learn how to spell. And just see what comes up. So if you don't even know what you want to make, but you want to make something for Christmas, festive is a good word to put in. And you can see all these great ideas. There's the stuffing I made tonight. Almond addiction's really good. But yeah, so many great ideas. Oh, there's that dish Penny made. More salad ideas. You can also type in the word Christmas and just see what comes up. You know, to get some other really great ideas on what you can make at this time of year. There's a lot. There's so many recipes that come up. And you can gift different powders and mixes and sauces and caramels. So many great things. If you type in the word gift, actually more gift ideas come up, which are really nice. And some of them have packaging ideas, like, yeah, you can see that one with that marmalade, hot chocolate on a stick. Quince paste is a really great gift to give as well. Yeah, so you can see lots of different ideas. Once you've chosen what you want to make, you press on these 3 dots and choose the day you want to make it. So say I want to make that on Sunday, type the day, press save. And now when I go into my week, that will be there for Sunday. So these are the recipes I was making today. So that's why it says cook today. Tomorrow I'm going to a Christmas party and I was going to make these 2 Christmassy dishes. This Christmas tree puff is super easy. They're both really easy actually and very impressive, which is nice. Saturday I couldn't decide which salad. I am only going to make one of these to take to a lunch and I couldn't decide which one yet. But yeah, you can see we've added that there. The other thing you can do is put it in your shopping list. Oh, I've already got that in. Let's put this one in the shopping list because that looks really good. So add to shopping list. And so over here on my shopping list, when I press show ingredients, all the recipes you want to make that week are put into categories. And so that as you're going down the aisles, it's really easy to find everything that's grouped together. So all your dairies together, your fruit, your meat, whatever you're making. If you've already got something at home, just tick it off before you leave for the shops. But if you don't even want to do the shopping, up the top, you can see this order ingredients button. This is going to connect with Woolworths online. It will, it's just my internet's slow. It's normally really fast, so this is weirding me out. It doesn't work with any other supermarket at the moment, but it works with Woolies online. If you don't like the brand it automatically gives you, just press swap. Pampers is a very good brand, but oh, actually Borgs is good. Yes, I'll select that one. Yeah, if you don't like the brand it's given you, just swap it for a different brand. And once you're ready, you just press add to cart and it takes you to your Woolies online. So you can do a free click and collect or you can do a home delivery. But yeah, that was cookie dough that was super quick. We have cookie dough tutorials that go longer where we go into really in depth to make sure you get the most out of your cookie dough subscription every Wednesday. I'll put links for that in the email I send out tomorrow. So bear with me and I'm going to go get the turkey roulade that's been in the fridge since it stopped cooking. I don't know if, I think a video was showing or Penny was talking while I got it out of the Varoma and I just unwrapped it from the foil and put it in the fridge. It's meant to be in there for half an hour. So we'll see. We'll see if it's ready. I'm worried about this type of thing because I'm not a chef. I'm really good at using the Thermomix, but anything where my own skill is included worries me in front of a crowd. So be patient with me, and you guys are probably better at this stuff. Having another plate, sorry. Okay, so I've got you need to see what I'm doing. I've got my roulades here, and I just want to show you what we do next. So I'm going to get a board. So I don't know, the sausage shape, which is good. I'm going to use a serrated knife because I'm pretty sure that's better for doing this type of thing. The ends are never really that pretty, so I'm just going to take off the ends, or I think this needed to firm up in the fridge longer, I can tell, but that's okay. You're going to get the idea, maybe. And I think too, this was the thinnest one. The thicker ones will probably look prettier. But I'll just, I don't know, hold that up to you to see. We've got the pinwheel effect happening here. And so if you slice that all and have it on your plate, it's quite a good cold meat dish to serve with salads on a really hot Christmas day, such as we have here in Sydney at Christmas time. Yeah, it's getting better as I go along, to be honest. So that's looking quite cute. I want to see what one of the fatter ones looks like. So just let me grab one of those. And obviously you choose how thick or thin you slice it. Yeah, that looks really pretty. So I've actually had this warm, and when I had it warm, I had a friend here who was cutting it with an electric serrated knife, so that worked really well. I don't have one of those, but if you wait for these to firm up nicely in the fridge, cutting it cold is quite nice as well. So do a few more. Yeah, it's working better on the big fat ones. Yeah, it's pretty. And so you can probably imagine as well, if you had the cranberry and bacon stuffing, the red mixed with the white would look quite effective. And if you want to color up your turkey a bit, you know how some people like to see a bit of brown on their meat, you could just put it under the grill or in a really hot fry pan just for like so quick, like 20 seconds. Before serving as well. So that's another idea for your turkey roulade. And I won't bore you with carrying on or too much with this, so because you've seen that now. But yeah, quite pretty. I'm just going to wash my hands again. That's the end of tonight's dishes that we wanted to show you. So thank you all for being on. At this point, does anyone have any questions you wanted to come off mute and ask? Or I haven't seen many in the chat, which is totally fine. You don't always need to have questions. If you're thinking of any, I will just share with you. We do have, I think all of you have a Thermomix who's on here tonight. If you have friends who are interested, please let your consultant know. We love being referred to your friends. Word of mouth is the only way our business can spread. So we definitely appreciate that. If you invite guests to have a look at the Thermomix at one of our online demos or classes or in your home or just whatever scenario, there are also host rewards that we're able to get for you, which are great. We love our host rewards. Most of our host rewards are not available for purchase. They're only available for those who are sharing the Thermomix with friends. So that's another great bonus for sharing that as well. Anyone who's purchasing a Thermomix this month gets an extra $150 voucher to spend in our Mix Shop online, which is a really great bonus. Oftentimes, and you guys may know from your experience, when Thermomix do decide to give a gift for anyone who's purchasing, they just choose the gift. So this month it's pretty cool that you get a voucher so that you can choose your own free gift to go along with your Thermomix. So yeah, definitely if you have friends interested, please let your consultant know. We love that. Other than that, Merry Christmas, and we have different online events happening each week, so I'll put the info for that in the email tomorrow. And yeah, I can't think of anything else I wanted to say. But I hope you've all enjoyed tonight and got some other out-of-the-box ideas that you may not have thought about yet for Christmas. There's so much more we could have shared. You know, we didn't even go into cocktails and dips and breads and veggies. Oh, there's this great veggie dish which is asparagus, beans and broccolini, and you steam it in the varoma and then you serve it with a lemon feta. I love that from Cookie Doo. Like, there's just so many recipes we could have shared, and obviously I wanted to keep it in an hour, and we've already gone over time with just what we've shown you tonight. So yeah, Thanks, Priscilla. And thanks for all your comments in the chat. For everyone who's written in there, it's really nice to know we're not just here alone in our kitchens cooking, talking to a computer. It's nice to hear from you as well. So thank you for that. And yeah, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and we'll see you again. I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm going to